Welcome to TF3 Airport. Is what? 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 They say what we famous for. That's why I'm taking y'all on this verbal tour. First stop, Providence Place Mall, 3 floors of stores to shop for you and yours. Don't have a ride, you can take the Ripper. Anywhere you need to go, the bus will get you. Cranston, Warwick, even Newport, Kennedy Plaza, where you can find the ice court. Y'all know Brown University, famous. J-Dub, PC, URI, famous. Students from everywhere come here to go there. The capital's Providence, Dante is in your ear. Home of the Blue Bug, Iggy's and Thayer Street. Full of stores to shop or places you can eat. Near there is downtown P-Pack, enjoy a show. The Dunk Water Fires, other things you need to know. Can't forget Fat Hill for real.
You know, so.
Nikki, I want to go somewhere. Because on my way driving here, and I know God has his ways of, I was driving through downtown, right? And as I was driving through downtown, I was looking at the areas. And it brought me to the conversation me and you had on the phone when we was talking about fundings and grants. And I know you have a passion for wanting to rebuild recs and other programs for the community. Not just blacks, but poor whites as well. So when I'm looking at downtown, I'm going to ask you this question, and I hope people understand where I'm coming from with this. Remember when I said in our interview of how when a person's in power or structure's in power, they're going to look out for the best of their interests, and they're going to show you how I could show you that you're not looking out for the best of my interests, that I'm looking out for the best of yours, and I'm going to show you with downtown. Downtown is one of Rhode Island's money makers. That's where most of the tourists go. That's probably the number one place. So all the restaurants, all the hotels and everything is built for tourists to come in to bring in income. Now, when you go look at the bus station, which they redid from when I was a kid, you know what I was looking at and seeing, and this is what the powers that be would tell you, this is why we ain't giving y'all grant money? They redid that whole structure of the Kennedy Plaza, and go look at the glass. All of them are broken. So when I know I own this, and I made it look better, and this is how you're going to treat me, why would I want to continue to fund this community when all you're doing is showing me is you're destructive? Because that's what that is. So you're not even thinking about the other people that could come and enjoy this. And then it's unsafe now because you got broken glass and all this around. And remember, this is, if you know what Kennedy Plaza is, there's a bunch of restaurants across the street from it. There's a bunch of restaurants this way of it. So what do you think people that is not from here come and see? And that's one of the first sights you will actually see when you get here.
Well, this is a capital city. Providence is the capital city, and it should shine better than any other city or town. Not better, but it should be the bright star.
Not Newport, because Newport got a lot of money, but go ahead.
Yeah. One of the things that I find that the state of Rhode Island has failed, especially in the city of Providence, is identifying, assisting, and taking care of individuals that hang downtown or hang in certain areas that are dealing with mental illness. It's not being addressed how it could be and should be.
We are.
Okay, so that is one of the problems. And then we have the youth who do not have enough to do with their time. Not enough constructive things to do. You know, the recreation centers, the school after school programs.
I knew you were tied in, that's why I was like, I'm going to ask this question.
Okay, and you know, there is a lot that our youth are missing. You go to another city or town, and they have programs. Providence ain't got nothing. Trust. I applaud individuals who have, there's Guns Down, Gloves Up, a group that, you know, it's the boxing and I mean, I applaud individuals like the gentleman. I haven't met him, but I heard about his program. And I applaud him simply because he's making an effort. He's bringing the youth together. He's teaching them positiveness, right? But then I look at other entities that have the resources, have the ability to do right, and all it is like, what can I get from this? You know, and it's shameful. That's what's going on currently in our city, in our state, unfortunately, you know. But employment for our youth.
Yeah, they used to have that when we was younger, like you could do the summer jobs. Yeah, what happened to that?
Good question. Good question. Just like the mental health, and many of those broken windows and stuff, it's not by necessarily someone that's in their right mind just to bust it. It's a lot of mental illness out there that needs to be addressed, and it's not being addressed, and we're seeing it every single day. Now, how would we do that? There's many ways to do it. What are they thinking about? Whatever their priority is, which is not addressing the issues with the homeless population, the lack of affordable housing, the mental illness situation, our youth. But the resources have been there, but the priorities, the folks haven't been participating in saying what their priorities are.
It's a shame because it sounds like to me it would just be a positive feedback cycle. For example, we put all the money to make the bus in that subway area a better place, but then it's getting destroyed by people who don't know how to take care of themselves. It's like, well, help them to manage that. Open up centers that they can go to, the kids too, with the boxing program. The city remains nice, you spend less money there, and these people are taken care of, and they keep it that way. And that whoever that person is that decided to, move their interests, at some point it'll show that they have a heart. So that would be in their best interest. Even though it's not going to happen tomorrow, it will all come back around at some point.
That was powerful words that you just said, Nikki. It would show that they care.
Yeah.
But realistically, when you're in it and you're seeing that it's all words that they're feeding you, it's like your action is showing me exactly what your interests are. If I can come up with a solution and I don't have 2 nickels to rub together and you have endless resources to make a change, I with less than 2 nickels can come up with a solution that will work. What is it that you can and will do with all the resources that you have that can make a difference? And then it's going to reflect on you saying, that person cared because here's the change.
Right.
Instead, you come in with your own plan, but it's not a plan that is inclusive. And what I mean by that is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Those are 3 words that is so used in getting resources, in making sure that you appear to be caring, but realistically it's non-existent because it's the latest fashion. It's not a reality.
Yeah, that's a shame.
These conversations hurt and it's painful and people feel helpless. But this is why the other side of things exists, because there's 2 ways. You can sit back and allow somebody to punch on you, or you could actually stand up and say, I ain't gonna be punched no more. And that's what we're about. It's like, so we're gonna bring a voice to the voiceless. We're gonna start the conversation. Like, what's the problem? Where do we begin? How do we start? Like, where's the starting point? And one of the things as an author, when I wrote my book, and like I said, I watch people that read it in front of me and just start crying, and they just like, yo, you're hitting points, because I'm telling you what's the problem. One, it's us as individuals, ourselves. Each one of us as an individual make a decision. And we don't think about the decision and how it's going to affect everybody else. And not just affecting everybody else, but also affect the community. It's a ripple effect. And that's something that we need to understand. That's one of the reasons why, like, when I came here today, they was expecting me to be in a t-shirt or whatever. But I was like, nah. I'm going to be presentable because I want to show you, if you want to be taken serious, you have to be serious yourself first. So even though we know people have mental illness, if there's still the mindset that you can go get drugs, there's also the mindset you should go get help. Go to someone to help you. I remember one time I had a concert and I was about to perform, and there was a lady, I knew her son. So she was sitting there and she asked me for some money. I said, "What you want the money for?" She said, "I want to get something to eat." So I said, "Okay, I'll take you to go get something to eat." We went to a Chinese restaurant. The Chinese lady like, no, you go. I was like, "What did you do?" I'm thinking in my head, I was like, no, she's fine. Let her get whatever she want on the menu. I'm going to pay for it. Get whatever you want. I was like, if she don't come back and get this food, hold it for me, I'll come back and get it. But I'm giving another opportunity. So I waited. And at the time I was dealing with a WP girl. She came and seen me sitting with this woman. And she said, "Why are you wasting your time with her?" And I said, "It's people like you, the reason why she's the way she is." Now let me tell you why I'm telling you this story. When I sat down with this woman, she was eating the chicken and rice. She said, "I don't want to be like this. My family don't want to see me like this." And she was just like, "I don't know what to do." And I said, "Well, here's your starting point. A stranger gave you food and having a conversation with you. So what you going to do with that conversation? That's not on you." So that's why I tell people all the time, there's a lot of things I could say on this camera and tell what I do, but I don't do that because I don't want an award. I don't need an award. If that lady ever say some rapper, that's acknowledgement to me. That's all I needed, because I hope somebody else could pick up from that. And that's one reason why we having this conversation. I wanted it to be a conversation more than an interview. Because one of my questions I have for you is this. You being the person that you are now, you went through an experience that if you would have turned down, what person you think you would have been now without the experience of what you went through during this service?
At the time when he came to me and extended me that opportunity to move on, there was a lot of stuff going on in the community. I was the president of the Tenants Association. There was a lot of drug dealing going on. There was a lot of stealing of the sneakers. There was a lot of negative things in the community going on. And as much as I'm a strong person, I'm still human. And I could have, looking back, been succumbed to some of that environment because there was so much around, even though I had a solid foundation. But it was part of God's will to have sent this individual to make that offer to me that brought me to where I am, So I said that, I asked that question to a friend of mine, a family member of mine, and I said, I often think, where would I be had I not been here? Where would I have been if my dad didn't decide to retire from the Army and come back home to Rhode Island? And being in Panama, it's like, like almost third world kind of country.
So your father is from here?
Yeah, he's from Rhode Island.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And I was born in Panama.
Right.
My mother also is Panamanian. So It's like, where would I have been had he not decided to come back home, But it's like, because I still have family there. So It's like, going back, it's like I hadn't been there in 38 years. And when I went back, it was like, whoa, a whole different, world.
Yeah.
But again, it's a question. I am grateful. I am very grateful. I never imagined to be where I am, but I'm grateful that I am. I learned a lot. I'm still a giving person. I'm certainly a misunderstood person because of my boldness. But going back to
say your passion. Don't say boldness. Say passion.
My passion. Yeah. That my passion scares individuals. I often share that I have a high and a low. don't have a medium. So my passion comes in, yeah, let me tell you something. You know, and that,
This one.
That's what I'm passion. Like,
The volume.
you know? So it's like I have practiced, I mean, honestly practiced to bring it down. It doesn't work, you know, but so a lot of people fear that, you know, they get intimidated by that. But it's like they will say, the bark is worse than the bite, you know, kind of thing.
Yep.
My intention is not to disrespect you or to scare you. It's the passion that's coming out, you know. But once you know a person, you're not afraid of that. You understand that person. But individuals use it to create a negative narrative and pass it on. And unfortunately, in the minority community, a lot of folks don't do their homework. And they just take what's presented to them and they run with it. And not only do they run with it and share it. You know, so that blind loyalty is like, you know, I'm doing that because he helped me out with my daughter, or I'm doing that because, you know, it's a good guy or it's a good gal. And it's like, but what are you?
Right.
You know, that kind of stuff. But you had mentioned about this person, you know, people have, just like they are going to go to drugs, they should be able to go to get cleaned or take the next step.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, Dante, some people get beat down one time or one time too many, and they fear going to the next person or going to a person for that help.
point.
You know what I mean? So a lot of time, that's why I say blind loyalty.
Could I interject though before you go there? The blind loyalty, stay there. I would have. At that point was good because we're talking to a mass of people. But I'm gonna tell you what a pastor said to me one time. I thought it was the stupidest thing he ever said, but it was true. I came back from Rhode Island. I just came back from Philly. I think God just put a block on me getting a job, because even one of the jobs I went for, they gave me this task that it was impossible to complete in one day, and I completed it in one day, and they still didn't give me the job. So it's like I filled out 17 applications and got turned down 17 times. So I went to the pastor at the time, Jeff Williams. So he goes and says, if 17 jobs turned you down, go for another 18. What? You don't want to hear it, but he was right. And that's what I did. 18, 19, 20. So even though we getting beat down, remember, I try to put things in a program where it's like, what you did in high school is not going to be the same thing you do in college. The people you dated in high school and college is not going to be the same the person that you marry, because growth takes place. So sometimes the way we was thinking at a certain time in our life is going to be different when we get older. And so things could be bad and you can get beat down, but just because that person did it doesn't mean everybody else will do it. Because again, you could get to the person that could help you. Because I always tell people this when I counsel them. My phone don't ring because I know who's going to call me. It's either going to be them or people I go to the gym with. If they want counseling as far as spirituality, they're going to call me. Other than that, they're not going to call me for nothing else. So we know who we could go to get help. Like if I need help, I know who I could go to. If I want to do something bad, I know where I could go to. So we know psychologically that we could do these things. You have to want to go get the help, and you have to say, I'm tired of being tired.
Yes, and I agree with everything you're saying, but everybody is not built the same. And realistically, some people have a hard time asking for help. Some people don't ask for it because they've been beaten down so many times while they have asked for help, you know? And some people are just embarrassed because of their situation to go and ask for it. So there's a plethora of reasons. So while I do agree with you, enough is enough. Do you want to remain like that, or you want to get cleaned up? It's not that cut and dry. It's not, because there's everybody who, okay, did that last hit. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be here. I don't want to, but they don't know where to go realistically, where they're not going to be judged, where they're not going to be turned away, where they're not going to be looked at in a strange way. You know, that's one of the reasons why there's people who are seeking help out there and they're having mental problems. They're not going. They're not trusting anybody because the way they're treated. They don't want to get that treatment. They want to be cured. They want to be helped. But come on, the welcoming, all that is not where it should be and could be. I want to service this and I'm in this field but really, you're having problems of your own and you're having a bad day too. So that reflection comes on that person that you're supposed to be having, helping in that moment. So yes, I agree with you, Dante. Yes. When is enough enough? You have the power to be able to say, take the initiative and move forward in doing it. But there's always a wall. There's always something that's keeping that individual from making that next step. And it may take someone to come and say, like you said, come on, let's go have something to eat. Come on, what do you need? And that may be one of the moments. That could be the direction. That could be the voice. That could be the word. That could be that dinner that changes that person, because here you care enough to spend that time, to spend that money, and to sit there and say, hey, you can do it. What do you need? I'll help you.
One of my goals were, I'm trying to keep the tears. When I was going to Ebenezer Baptist Church, one of my goals were, and the guy said he would build the building for me. I wanted to do a place, God Did This For You, where I wanted to take the first drug abuse, clean them up, and put their pictures on the wall. So when the next people come in, they know these people that actually help you. I was going to hire them to run the place, because you can identify with what this person actually going through, and you know how to actually help them. That was one of my goals when I was young, when I was a kid.
Let me tell you a place that you could go, and exactly what you're talking about is occurring. Church of the Masters. And it's like in Olneyville, and it deals with, when I say deals, the service, the environment, the people. They are like current users, former users. So those stories and those pictures of before and after, it's there. I attend that church. I attend a lot of churches, but that's one where I see exactly what you're saying, like once upon a time, but today. Look at who I am and what I am today. And that's a place that I would encourage you to, all of you, to go and visit one Sunday. And it's at 10 o'clock, the service. And you would see the progress. They have a soup kitchen on Saturdays. The folks that I volunteered there, and it's like the folks that come, and there's no judging, nothing. You come as you are, and folks they're dealing with that demon, and some of them you'll see like they just did whatever they did, but they're there, and nobody is judging. So at least there's something that you thought about that you wanted to do that is occurring. So I would say check it out, because maybe you could bring something else to it to assist it to get even better. But there's too many people on our streets that are hurting, and not enough people saying, take my hand, come on, I'm going to help you do this. There are entities that are in place getting resources, supposed to be doing that work, but it's not enough resources, and they too get burnt out. And how much are they really going to be extending if they too are burnt out? So I would love to see more attention. The government put more attention in mental health. Our housing crisis doesn't need to be a housing crisis here. Okay? Because they're building. If you come into a capital city, you ride around, there is more construction going on with housing, but they're luxury housing. The rents that are being asked is way above what our local residents can afford. So you can't tell me.
Place in East Providence, all them houses, like when we passed that trail, I didn't even know them things is like 500,000 to $1 million each one. That one area.
So there it is, right across the street from me, right across the street, 2 bedrooms, 499.9. Who It got sold within 4 weeks. A single family. When are those prices going to go down? Never.
Right.
It's it. So if we're going to really look and say we got to do something about this housing crisis, hey, we've been talking about that for the last 6 years. So is it going to be when? 6 more years? Look, remember, it's the poor white, it's the minority community, it's the Native Americans, it's the Latino Americans. If you don't own it and you're renting, just be prepared. We're going to go back to, the community's going to go back where the mother, the father, the grandchildren, the husband, the wife, everybody's going to be living together in one household because that's all you can afford. You're going to have to combine your resources to be able to make the mortgage or make the rent. But even that is being tampered with. How many people can live? If you saw the news, how many people can live in a house? And in addition, some people have fixed their basements or some people are renting rooms. All that's being thought of. No, they can't do this and they can't do that. So that means that there's that possibility of increasing homelessness. Because I can afford a room. You got a room for rent? And you have all the amenities that you can utilize in the house, but you're renting that room. You're working, but you're not making enough money to pay rent for your own place. So therefore, you're renting a room at $100 a week or $150, whatever it is, reasonable, and you can do that. That may end up stopping because now the plan is to go in. Are you licensed for a boarding house? Basement, you can't. Basement, if you don't have your egresses, which rightfully so, you need to, if it's a basement and you don't have the proper egresses, you need to make sure that there is the proper egresses and stuff. But a lot of people are not aware of those policies in play. But they're not aware of what's coming to them either. So all that information needs to be out there, and the government is not doing a good enough job, in my opinion, to getting that information out to the folks. It's going to be like, pow! And when it hits, it's going to be too late, and those folks are going to be like, what? And it's going to be like, oh, well, sorry, you got 30 days, and it's over. So they're building, but they're not building for the people who reside here, the working poor. Okay, they're not building for them. They're not taking care of our homeless. They're not taking care of our mentally ill. They're not taking care of the taxpayers that are here. The privileged one, they can call up and say, look, my son didn't make the team, but so instead of him not being able to play with you this season, create another team and set it up so he can play. That's the privilege. That's what's going on in our city and in our state. But the little black or brown kid who didn't make the team has to wait till the next season to be able to come in and try out again and get in. But they doing it, and they only do to the poor what the poor is allowing them to do to them.
Hold on, y'all. Can we go with time? Huh? Keep going. All right, I just want, because I was like, I know we went an hour. And
we get over double back, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to stop.
No, so
because we can come back for a third episode.
No, this is gonna be a third episode because
this is already 2.
So I know this is gonna be the third one right here.
Okay.
This is part 3.
Got part 3.
Okay. This is gonna be one of them shows that I know people gonna be tuned in for this one because you can hear the passion of the conversation. So, because you just said a lot. That right there was deep. It's crazy because you know what's so funny? We used to be considered middle class. Now we're considered poor.